Coming up on Acko Drive, Honda ZR-V, the latest SUV, is also the latest hybrid on the block. We have our review. An electric Polo and an electric Taigun. VW's Global Compact Electrics. We have an exclusive. And as always, I will answer your questions on what to buy. Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great weekend. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Patankar. Welcome to Acko Drive. It's been yet another busy few days in the automobile industry, and you know what? It's only going to get busier still as we head towards the festive season soon. I mentioned last week how the sleeping Japanese giants have really woken up of late in India. First it was Nissan, then Honda. So that Honda ZR-V review is coming up. But first, it's our top story and I have a big surprise for you. We've talked about small EVs from Mahindra, Tata, Kia, Hyundai, but the VW group has stayed quiet. Well, now the world is waking up to the compact VW ID family, the ID Polo and its performance variant, and also the ID Cross, which is like an electric Taigun. I had the chance to drive the test prototypes of all three electrics. Here is an Acko Drive exclusive. Polo, it's a beloved nameplate in India, and this is the electric Polo, or the ID Polo, the pre-series car, which is why it's all dressed up like this. And I can tell you that the excitement here in Europe around something like this is pretty huge because of what it represents. For 51 years, the Volkswagen Polo has been one of those cars that just works. Simple, honest, a bit of a legend actually. And in the 12 years it was on sale in India, 3 lakh units were sold. And now, for the first time ever, there is an electric one. And underneath the Camo, the shape is already telling you a story. It's short, upright, it's got that stubby, confident stance that the old Polo always had. And here's the interesting bit. It's actually a touch shorter than the current petrol Polo in Europe, just over 4 meters, but it's wider. And the wheelbase has been pushed right out to the corners, which on an EV is exactly what you want because that's where the cabin space comes from. And there's just one detail that's genuinely surprised me. This is a front wheel drive. This little thing runs on a single motor on the front axle on a new version of VW's electric MEB Plus platform. There are two battery options when it goes on sale. A smaller 37 kilowatt hour pack for the city crowd, good for somewhere around 330 kilometers, and a bigger 52 kilowatt hour pack that pushes that up towards 450 kilometers. Power runs from a modest 116 horsepower right up to 208 in the regular range. And just so we're clear, those are European WLTP numbers. If this ever came to India, real world figures would look very different. And I'll come back to the India question because that's the whole reason we are having this conversation. But here comes the little twist. Not only do I have this, I also have this, also dressed up similarly in camouflage. But you can tell straight away how different they look. This one is the Cross Polo. But again, we are talking about the ID family, which means electric all around, baby. But think of it as the electric answer to the Taigun. Same family DNA, but jacked up, more butch, more SUV, more modern in its attitude. It's longer than the Polo, it sits higher, same single motor front wheel drive idea, and a range in the low 400s on the European cycle.
And this is what the ID family really means. One platform, two or three very different personalities. One's a hatch, one's an SUV or a crossover, and yet you can see the shared face, the shared thinking. It's a smart bit of engineering, and many manufacturers are doing exactly the same thing. And now the production version of the car has also broken cover in Europe.
Now, in terms of some of the details, etc., maybe some of that doesn't even matter to you because it's not like they're launching these cars in India anytime soon. But given the huge delay we've had, we kept hearing about the ID4 coming to India, but the huge delay with getting Volkswagen electric cars into India.
And let's be honest about where things stand. There's nothing about the ID Polo or the ID Cross coming to India. No price, no date, no official word.
Imagine having the electric Polo, the ID Polo. That would generate so much buzz. It would generate so much goodwill and also a lot of excitement. Polo fans would love it.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Some cars sell on spec sheets. The Polo never did. It sold on feeling, on how solid the door felt when you shut it, on how it drove like something from a class above. There's a whole generation of enthusiasts in India who learned what German build quality meant from a Polo. Put that badge on a well-made, well-priced electric hatch, and you're not just launching a car, you're cashing in on years of goodwill in just one go.
And then, you know what? You have these two here, but I'm going to show you a glimpse of a third car that's also an ID Polo, but with a twist, the kind of twist you and I love.
The twist is three letters, GTI. Yes, the ID Polo GTI, 50 years after the original Golf GTI basically invented the hot hatch. VW is handing the badge to a battery-powered Polo. It's still front-wheel drive, which for a GTI is exactly right. Single motor up front, 223 horsepower, 290 Newton meters of torque, and it'll do 0 to 100 in about 6.8 seconds. So it's not really about big numbers, but that wasn't always the case with the GTI anyway. As a piece of engineering and as a statement of intent, the ID Polo is one of the most likable electric cars I've driven in a while. It's honest, it's right-sized, it's well-loaded, and it wears a badge that means something. The GTI is the emotional cherry on top, and the ID Cross, on the other hand, hits the real sweet spot. The catch is the one you already know. Everything you've seen today is European. European prices, European range, European launch plans. The India story is still a great big question mark. And given the delays and mistakes we've watched Volkswagen make in India over the years, I'm not going to promise you anything I can't back up. But would I want an electric Polo in India? In a heartbeat. And the ID Cross? You bet. Tell me which one you like the most. The electric Polo, its GTI version, or the ID Cross.
Polo, we love that nameplate here, right? So would you like to see an electric Polo coming back with that name to this market? Or do you think the ID Cross is more the way to go for India? Now a quick glance at the top news this week.
Tata Motors launched the new Nexon Camo edition, which arrives in two exclusive colors, Camo specific styling and a larger 12.3-inch touchscreen. Prices on the special edition start from 10 lakh rupees all the way up to 14 lakh rupees ex-showroom. Bajaj Auto has launched the new Pulsar N160S and SS variants, bringing major upgrades to the sports commuter. The new Pulsar N160 now comes with upgraded 165cc 4-valve engine that produces more power. The new Pulsar N60 range is priced from 1,34,000 rupees ex-showroom.
Okay, I now bring you that promised review of this new flagship from Honda. The ZR-V is Honda's second hybrid in the market now, and it aims to revive the brand's image and make it just a little bit more relevant. Now, the ZR-V is a capable SUV, which is fairly well loaded. It gives you 181 bhp power output, nearly 23 kilometers per liter claimed mileage, and well, really boring colors. I mean, there's two black options, one white, and just one gray. But what else is there for you to know about this car? Samir Contractor drove it at the BIC to find out.
True Honda fans would remember the Accord and the CR-V, what fabulous cars those were. But in the last few years, Honda has been concentrating on the mass market space. Nevertheless, it's now coming back to the premium segment, and that's where the new ZR-V comes in. It's new halo product for India, fully imported, and promises to be not just a comfortable SUV, but performance friendly and efficient too, with a hybrid powertrain. Well, we are at the Bull International Circuit to find out if these attributes actually work in its favor. The new ZR-V sits between the HR-V and CR-V in Honda's global lineup. It's supposed to be the funkier, more youthful SUV, with the Z inspired from Generation Z. The ZR-V looks flamboyant and is by far the most stylish offering from Honda in India. More crossover than a proper SUV. It's distinctly urban too, with the LED headlamps, blacked out grille, body-colored wheel arches, and a receding roofline that gives it a coupe-like stance. While the rear design may seem dreary without a connected light bar, it's actually quite refreshing. The color palette is boring for a car with some visual panache. There are the many shades of black, along with white, which stands out on a gloomy day. The new Honda ZR-V is directly imported from Japan. Yes, it is a CBU, and it shares its underpinnings with the Honda Civic, a car that many of you would remember. It's based on a new generation and is underpinned by hybrid power. The model brings Honda's current generation hybrid technology, packing a powerful 2-liter Atkinson cycle engine. Yes, this is a road car and maybe the track may not be the perfect place for it, but then again, I think it gives us a good idea of what the handling and the power dynamics of the car are. On the back state now, which means we can accelerate, and the hybrid engine is known for its sporty performance, 181 bhp, 315 Nm of peak torque, and a good flat track is what you need to accelerate all the way. This is a rev-happy engine, I have to say that for sure. The petrol hybrid engine gets 3 drive modes, all electric, hybrid, and combustion power. The EV mode enables the traction motor to use power from the lithium-ion battery to drive the wheels. The hybrid motor turns the engine on to spin the generator motor, which charges the traction motor to drive the wheels. And at high speeds, the internal combustion engine comes to life fully, sending power to the wheels directly using the engine-linked clutch. The way it transitions from only EV mode at say speeds under 80 km per hour and then the engine kicks in at higher speeds, that is very, very impressive. From a driving perspective, you really don't come to know unless the engine gets horrible at high speeds. That's really when you know that the engine is at play. Otherwise, this is a very smooth and a very well controlled, very well executed engine. The acceleration in the EV mode is truly impressive. You have enough torque coming in at the 0 RPM, and that ensures that you're quick off the line. The eCVT works great and without the rubber band effect as a traditional CVT. It shifts seamlessly with linear power delivery throughout. Power goes only to the front wheels and the motor and transmission are always eager but never aggressive. All around visibility is great with the slim A-pillar and the ORVMs mounted on the door. This not only helps when cornering, but you have a good peripheral view of everything around at all times, especially on narrow streets. The ZR-V gets a multi-link rear suspension, and while a racetrack may not be the best place to gauge ride quality, the suspension has been tuned for a supple ride, keeping dynamics and comfort well balanced in typical Honda fashion. The build quality and the fit and finish is something that will leave you very, very impressed. There's soft touch materials on the dashboard. Just look at this honeycomb mesh finish over the air vents, little details that stay with you. You also get cross stitching on the seats, and the leatherette seats themselves are excellent. The overall fit is very nice and you do feel that this is an extremely premium car. But like I said, not the most feature-rich car in the segment, which means you get a 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system, and on the outset, nothing very fancy, but does the job well. I also have to say that the quality of the camera is quite nice. I do like that. And you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's a 10.25-inch digital cluster, electrically adjustable front seats with a memory function for the driver, and dual-zone climate control. You also get wireless charging, a 12-speaker Bose sound system, ambient lighting, a smart wiper, and a powered tailgate with a kick sensor. Now here's something very interesting. If you look at the key fob, it's nothing really different, but if you come closer, you can see the one written on it. Now you get two sets of keys with every car, and depending on the driver, the car can preempt and adjust the seat based on the memory setting. There are quite a few misses when compared to other similar sized SUVs. You don't get a sunroof or ventilated seats, and the bonnet is held up by a prop rod instead of struts, all of which is disappointing at this price point. The boot capacity measures 380 liters, not too big for a car this size, but can be expanded to over 1300 liters with the rear seats folded. Perhaps the biggest shortcoming on the ZR-V is the rear seat space. Yes, it's a long SUV and legroom isn't an issue, but under-thigh support is extremely lacking. The floorboard is much higher, so you sit knees up, which isn't very comfortable. It's like an EV, but then this is a petrol car, so I don't see why that should have been the case. The headroom also is decent, but not very spacious given that coupe roof lines. You also get a center armrest with cup holders, and the leather upholstery is all nice, but at no point does it feel exceptional. For most people, hybrid technology is mostly about fuel efficiency, but then again you have other benefits, one being immediate acceleration, and of course there is that average that you get in the real world. Now Honda claims about 22.8 kilometers per liter, and we'll have to find out in the real world what that feels like. But on the acceleration bit, I can tell you that this is a very fun car. Having spent little time with the ZR-V today, I have to say what it does well, it does exceptionally so, and some things are definitely missing. The feature stack is definitely not there compared to the rivals that offer a lot more for a lot less. Yes, the hybrid technology is fantastic, and for those looking at power and efficiency together, this is a good match. For those wanting a more practical option, the Skoda Kodiaq or even the Volkswagen Tyrol are very good cars that cost a lot less. Cars such as the Accord, CR-V and Civic were the first premium global models from Honda for the masses in India. While neither of those nameplates now survive in the country, the car maker is looking to rebuild that appeal once again. At nearly 48 lakh rupees ex-showroom, the ZR-V does feel exorbitant for what it offers. While the price may be hard to justify, I do believe there are Honda loyalists who will appreciate it for what it is. It doesn't shout its arrival, nor does it scream expensive. It is reassuringly premium in the most understated way possible. For old Accord and CR-V buyers, Honda may finally have worth something upgrading to, and that is a niche in today's times.
It's good to see some more hybrid options and finally some action from Honda after a really long time. Now remember that recently, of course, you also saw the City facelift, but overall, it's good to see the brand creating a bit of a stir. So please react to this car, the ZR-V, or in fact anything else that you want to even ask or talk about. You can reach me through this email ID or by sending in some DMs to me on Instagram or X. Now let me take a few of your questions. So the first question, hello Mr. Patankar, this is Ankit. Hi Ankit. I would like to request you to help me out with one confusion I'm experiencing while deciding my new car. That's what I'm here for. I am buying a Seltos petrol automatic. I'm not sure about the gearbox, IVT or DCT. I'm from Pune and I drive mostly in city traffic. I prefer going out on weekends into the hilly western Ghats. I know that IVT is good for bumper-to-bumper traffic in Pune, but will it give me confidence for a quick overtake of a large truck on the narrow Ghat roads? Okay, hi Ankit again. Now, that's a nice specific question and it's a real-world problem. So, while this would really also depend on what variant you're looking for, because, you know, that also depends on what features you want for your usage. Given what you've told me, I will still recommend the IVT. It's smooth, has good mileage, and it is better suited, as you said, to Pune's heavy, messy traffic. On the ghats, it actually does have enough performance for confident overtakes, but you will need to get used to its response and then plan those overtakes accordingly. The DCT is definitely quicker, it's more fun, no doubt, but if most of your driving is in the city, the IVT is the better all-round choice. Next question is from Rajan Venkateshwaran. Sir, I was watching your program last week. I want your advice to buy a small EV car for about 60 to 70 kilometers per day. Thank you, Rajan, for watching. Now, you have not really specified a budget or what you mean by a small EV. So, your options really can range all the way from a Tata Punch to the BYD Atto 3. But let me be realistic and also throw in the Kia Ceros EV that just launched a week ago. Great pricing. It is also pretty good on range. There are 2 battery types, and it even has an amazing 80% buyback offer. That is an introductory offer, but still, it's just a no-brainer really. So go check out the Ceros EV. I hope this helps. Okay, one more question. This one is from Dinu. Hi bro, how does isobutanol mixed with diesel affect engines? Hi bro, that's a great question. Isobutanol is one of the more promising alternative fuels for diesel. And I know that everybody's freaking out about this possibly coming in. We've seen a whole lot of furor around ethanol with petrol, right? But even at blends of up to 15%, isobutanol can actually reduce soot and improve combustion because it mixes really well with diesel, mixes better with diesel than ethanol mixes with petrol, in fact. But because it does have slightly less energy than diesel, there could be a small drop. In fact, there will be a small drop in fuel economy or efficiency. As long as the blend is one that's approved by the manufacturer or mandated by the government regulations, modern diesel engines are expected to run without any issues. There is an important caveat though, and that's why we are far from being adoption ready in India. Long-term durability data from Indian conditions, well, we don't really have that. It's still being gathered, and that's why the government is starting with lower blend trials before considering wider adoption or a higher percentage of blend. Please keep more of your questions coming. I'll try and take as many of them on the show as possible. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week with more cars and bikes. Until then, drive safe, wear your helmets and seatbelts.